Hi folks, I wanted to share something with you today, and maybe you can help us get educated. But this is an Otto Ernst saddle from Sheridan, Wyoming, and just curious to see if anybody can date it and tell us what it's worth. And anyway, that's what it is. Dang sure Cowboy owned it for a lot of years. So anyway, if you could give us some information on this saddle, we'd appreciate it. She'll do a close-up of the maker's name. And I don't know if he kept moving his name around, but it's also here on the latigo holder. So any information, we'd appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, folks, I've got a new chapter on Chinaco here, my colt. And what I'm going to do is walk through several exercises over a period of time, and today it's backing up and hooking on. And what that really means is that when I start doctoring off this horse, he's got to be able to work off my cues, because I'll be sitting down on something I'm doctoring. And there's a lot of things going on here, and you'll figure out as you watch it. But the point is, I need him to be able to do this, and I'm going to teach him this part of it, and then he'll do it later on with the saddle and da-da-da-da-da. And I don't want any resentment. And I'll explain that to you in a minute why. So the object is for him to back up off of a field and then come ahead on a cue. And it's just a trick. This is nothing more than a horse trick, like you do all that Liberty stuff. But the fact is, it's worth something. Now I start off by putting a half hitch over the nose. And that way I can be clear with my cues. So you just run a half hitch over the nose is all you gotta do, like that, through the halter. Okay folks, now this is nothing more than a trick, but it's a useful trick for a cowboy. And my goal is to try to get this horse all the way to the spade bit and not have resentment in him. So that's why I want to take my time, and I have taken my time. So I've got the half hitch over the nose, and I need him to learn to back up off of a cue. So later on, when I'm asking him to back up off my get down, he'll do it. And when he gets where I need him, I don't put weight on the rope like when you're tied off to a saddle. I just simply quit wiggling the rope. Now what he's waiting for is the cue to come in. Now this whole operation took about 15 minutes to teach. And for those of you that have been following this deal with this colt, this is the exact same chair I sat in the first time I ever caught him when he was still on the mare. So now my left hand has the rope and my right hand gives the cue. At the same time, I ask the horse to come join me. And as he comes in, I just gather in my rope. And his job is to come all the way up to me. Then I put a release in the rope. And the point of what I'm trying to say is that I've seen it 100 times, and it's happened to me 100 times. You get something tied down and doctored and you're all done, and you ask your horse to come join you, and they're a little tentative because of whatever reason. Something, an animal on the ground, whatever. And they come just close enough where you can try to get the rope off the feet, but you can't quite get it off, and that's really not fun. Because if you ever happen to get your hand stuck in there and fall and that horse pulls back on that rope, you're not going to get it off unless you cut it. So what I want him to do is I want him to come in overkill here, and then feel good about being right here, which means the feet are going to be right here too. And there again, I'm not taking on a beef master bull right off the bat. I'll be starting off with some potty dink. So this is what I wanted to show you. Now I'm about to ask him to leave again. And remember, a part of this thing is that he needs to stay as long as you need him to stay. So now I'm going to ask him to leave. This would be the same thing as me asking him to back up on the rope. then he'll learn to hold it tight over another exercise. But I'm getting part A done right now. And I'll send him back until I quit sending him back. Now, I don't want him coming in until I ask him to come in. And I don't want him bothered. I mean, all right, now my left hand's going to choke up on the rope. My right hand is going to ask him to join me. I put my hand down as soon as his feet start to move. And I'm reeling him in. If his feet stop, I'll cue him again, but I don't want to cue him a lot. That's right there's where I need him. So there's the release. And he's going to get comfortable. So now, once he understands, I use this for schooling, that's half hitch. In case he didn't want to come in, I could put some pressure on him. Well, once he understands it, then you don't need it. And I know this horse pretty well since we raised him. And I know his MO. In other words, when you first teach him something, he's kind of wondering about it. Then once he gets it, he's pretty much got it. So I'm going to ask him to leave. And you'll get as busy as you need to with the rope, but the idea is to not get real busy because you're in the process of doctoring something. And of course, he won't be going back this far when I'm doctoring, but I'm doing this now just for overkill to get my point across to him. And you can see the amount of pressure I've got on the rope. And for the first time in my life, I'm able to break this deal down. So now I'm about to ask, see how his ears came forward when I moved? I'll ask him to join me, and I'll put my hand down. And that's where I need him. So now I can do whatever I got to do, and it's just part of the spade bit ranch horse is what you're looking at. And while I'm here, I wanted to tell you that I got a book from some folks in Hawaii and some treats, and it's called Loyal to the Land, and it's the best book I've ever seen on the Hawaii, the Parker Ranch and all the different ranches there. It's really well written. And then the second one was A Land Remembered, which is about Florida. And the word remembered goes back into the 1800s, and this author was able to pinpoint certain things where things happened. And I like that because if we ever get lucky enough to go to Florida, we'll stand right where some of these things happened, and that's the kind of history I like. And the interesting thing for me about Florida, I mean, there is a lot of cattle in Florida. And if you think about it, they've got salt water on both sides, and they have brackish water, and they got all kinds of people that come down from the north to winter kill. And they keep fresh water. And that's what amazes me, how they can keep that ecosystem going. Because I know it's a contest for them ranchers. Same in Hawaii, I found out reading this book, is that the water deal was real important. So no matter what, they're working for Mother Nature. And if you don't have water, you might as well just cut your throat because you're done. And it's been a while since I offered any advice to these young folks that want to go work on a big outfit and have a riding job. Well, if you're sent to rep, in other words, your boss says, I need you to go to the neighbors and help them gather, and you'll be gone 2-3 days, something like that. When you get to the ranch, the first thing you do in the code of the West world is you go to the boss, cow boss usually, and you say you offer to wrangle. And that's just the way it's done. Then he might say, well, thank you, that'd be nice, you wrangle in the morning. And a wrangle pasture is always pretty simple. The second thing is as a cowboy, you never, ever sit on another man's bedroll. Because if you do, there's a little something called frontier justice, and you'll never see it coming. So, anyway, I want my horse to be trained and feel good about not resenting what I'm asking him to do. If any of you saw the video of the gathering, that lady that ripped everybody off, you'll see me tie down a critter in that video, and you watch my bridle horse and you'll see what I'm talking about. That's the end result. You watch the way she comes to me when I let her know. So now I'll ask him now. He knows the best place to be. So, there you go.
Who was it that asked you if you gave her a carrot?
Well, I wasn't going to bring that up, but one of the cowboys came up to me after I got done tying that thing down. He says, "What'd you do, give that horse a carrot?" I said, "No. No, you don't need a carrot when you teach him the right way." So, anyway, that's it for now. Thanks. Cut!